Hey guys, I am Jamie X. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to start a business in Australia. This is something that's really close to my heart because I've ran a few companies in my time. I've started 3 to be precise, and we deal in our main printing business, we deal for many small businesses. So over the years we've helped many small guys get started and flourish into bigger businesses. So in this video you're going to see the 8 steps I'd recommend to starting a small business. And I'm going to give you those points so you can hit the ground running. Before you get into those points though, it's really important to know with the stuff I'm putting out there, a lot of it's through 11 years of experience so far and stuff we've seen with other businesses working. So I'd really appreciate if you like the content to just subscribe to our channel because we're putting out some great content to help you flourish and win in business, and that's what we're all about. So before you get started, you've got to make sure you have a concept. So you want to make sure that you know what sort of business you want to get into. Some people get really tied up into doing a full-on business plan. A full-on documented business plan is only really important if you need finance or you're needing to get money. So that's the only real time you need a fully documented process. It's good to have cash flows, it's good to have plans and that, but typically in business it's very rare that everything will go to plan, especially if you don't have historical data. So the planning step, I would honestly not spend too much time on it. I'd focus on doing what you need to do quickly to get to market and get it selling or get your product out there, because that's going to be the acid test to know if what you're doing is working. Also, just to analyze what skills you have and what you don't have. You might be great at fulfillment, you might be great at selling, you might be great at whatever you're great at. Just identify your weaknesses. So just be wary of it. You're not going to be great at everything. You might need to do a lot of research. So in business you've only got 2 resources, and that is either time or money. It's very rare you will have both. Probably at the finishing line you'll get there, but that's the aim of business. And also, what do you want out of the business financially? What are you looking for? Is it meant to be just a hobby? Is it meant to be just a replacement to a full-time job? Or are you looking to scale and get massive? Because it's going to affect what happens in the 8 steps. And also the final thing is, have you thought about with your concept the actual business name? When we say that, are you checking to see if anyone else owns that name? So checking the ABR, also checking the domain. You want to see if the .com and .com.au is available. .net.au can be good, but it can be a bit confusing. You also want to check your social media profiles as well to make sure that nothing's taken. You don't want to go fully into an idea and realize later on, hey, that's limiting me. On top of that, you might want to look into trademarks as well. But there'll be another video talking about business names and concepts and all the stuff I mentioned there. Now what I'm going to do is talk to you about 8 steps you really need to. So once you've got all that figured out, which will probably be in your head, you don't have to have it fully documented. So these are the 8 steps you'd want to go to. So firstly, what you need to do is choose your business structure and type. So that's really important in Australia. If you're starting really small and it's something you're testing out, you might start as a sole trader. As a sole trader, the business is basically your name and you're running under your personal income. So you've got no protection, it's fully liable under you. So if anything goes wrong or you commit to anything, 100% you'll be liable for everything. It's a great way to start out. With Mediapoint, we actually did start as sole traders just to see if the concept was going to work. And then we slowly built up into a company and then trust, which we'll talk about later. So companies are the most common form of companies in Australia. The reason being is it offers some protection, the money you put into the company. As a director, you do have responsibilities of the company as well, of what you can and can't do, as you can be prosecuted if something goes awry. And then on top of that, you have a trust structure as well. Currently in a lot of my businesses, I'm running a company underneath a trust just for asset protection. But my recommendation is just to know how big you want to get. If you're starting small or you're going to be micro, start at that sole trader level. If you think you're going to get big, go to that company level. You're going to go, or if you think you need asset protection, speak to an accountant first. As soon as you go to a company or a trust, there's a lot more costs involved yearly. So maintaining it, you're looking at a few grand of just maintenance with accounting bills and added processes and stuff like that. Sole trader is a lot more leaner. What I tend to find is a lot of guys will start out as a sole trader and to work their way up to the added structures once they know their ideas sound. The next thing you'll need to do is you need to get an ABN number. So just Google it through the ABR. You need to get that ABN number to get ticking over. Double check as a sole trader exactly what you need in that regard, because you might just need a TFN and you can trade under your name, but you need to double check online because those rules are constantly changing, and check for anyone if you need to. So ABN's vital. You can't trade in Australia without an ABN. Australian business number. You need that if you're looking at a company or trust structure 100%. As a sole trader, you may or may not need that. Also, to start bank accounts later on, you'll need that ABN number. Then on top of that, once that's all done, the third step is to register your business name or trademark if you need it. A lot of people get really gung-ho on the trademark sort of aspect of it. What I've seen in the past, especially in small business, trademark doesn't offer that great of protection. With the internet and stuff coming out, information is moving that rapidly. Even if you do have a trademark, you're not going to get to a point where you'll be able to sue or get your money. You just need to trade and get into hit the market quick. It's up to you if you do want that protection, but from what I've seen, unless your idea is you've created something totally unique, a name is what I've seen is basically worthless. It's the work that goes into it to make the name worth something. So as we're looking at trademarking Mediapoint now that we've put some IP into the print aspect and just trademarking for that area. But if someone wanted to use that name in a different field, our name, it doesn't infringe on what we're doing, so it doesn't offer the greatest protection. Typically, you've also got a little bit of protection having a company name, just because you've come out with that idea and stated of when you started it. So the fourth step is, once you've done that, is to register your domain. Your domain's vital because everyone needs a website. So my recommendation is hopefully get the .com.au at least, because that covers the two areas where people would search. And while you're there getting the website stuff, I'd also get the social media stuff booked, because you typically, if you're not thinking about it now, eventually you will want to do social media marketing more than likely. At Mediapoint, in our core business, we didn't think we needed social media marketing because we're a trade brand, we're visible to a lot of people. However, now we're seeing that the benefits of us doing it. So luckily we got in early for a lot of them. The next step is you'll need to check with the ATO of what taxes you need to register for. So you may need to register for GST if you think you're going to be earning over a certain amount. So this is a definite thing you need to look into. On top of that, you'll need to see what other things you might be liable for. My recommendation is, as soon as you're starting or you start earning money, you need to pair up with an accountant and just get a meeting and make sure you've got everything in the right place. We found over the past, we didn't have things in the right structure and it cost us later on. We could fix it, but just cost us more money. When it comes to accountants as well, I recommend doing a little bit of research. I don't fully trust my finance guys 100%. I usually go in there with a game plan of what I want to do, and I go to them to validate it and also have the insurance in case something goes wrong. So just be wary of that. You also might need registration and licenses for your business. So that's the next step, the sixth step I'm talking about. So if you're in for example, you're in beauty, which my wife is, she needs to make sure she has her premises checked by the council and she has her medical stuff and it's all validated and her permits in place. And on top of that, if you're dealing with food, additional permits are in place. You also need to make sure, check that OH&S, whatever you're doing, you're starting with the right for. I find adding stuff in later just a bit of a pain in this regard because you're changing the culture of the place. So just have a look at it, make sure you've got everything to make sure you're not running illegally. That's the key thing here. You don't want to make sure you're making sure you're doing everything by the book, and you're going to get in trouble with majorly later. And it's going to shut down your business because all your hard work will go down the drain. The seventh step is to look into insurance. So as soon as you start, depending on what you're offering, you need to look at products or liability insurance or workplace insurance or building, whatever you're doing. Keep an eye on it. It's all based on revenue. So starting out, it's going to be a low number and it'll keep building up as your business grows. But you want to have that protection in place in case you get sued. What I've found is when I've had it, haven't needed it, and then certain things, I've seen other businesses when they don't have it, they end up needing it. So I find it's a necessary evil. I like having that protection, that peace of mind. Even in our core business Mediapoint, we've got debtor insurance at the moment. We've got to the level where we're paying that if one of our customers goes under, we'll still be covered. But starting out, you probably won't be at a level where you'll have the cash to do that. The final step, the eighth step, which I reckon is really important, and which is why I think you speak to an accountant as well, even if it's a couple $100 just to get started, is get your accounting software and your structure in place. So what that means is pick which suite you want to go with. Subscribe to our channel, which will give some shoots on what I recommend to use, which is Xero and a few of the other online ones. And what the key thing is to actually know what accounts you want to have. When I started the business, I was thinking, hey, just whatever, I don't really care. But now, as our business is growing, we need to overhaul our books and our accounts now because it makes our reporting a lot easier. We can look at our books and know where our income's coming from, where our expenses are going out to. So your accounting software structure is vital. So they're the 8 steps I've gone through starting a business. I know they're really sort of the basic end. You're probably coming into this video thinking, hey, I'm starting out, I don't know what this stuff means or whatever. With each of those steps, I would Google it and really learn it a bit, spend, half an hour on each one and just really understand it. But in this video, I'm here to help you, because at Mediapoint we're about helping businesses and people win. In the comments section, just throw any questions to me. If you've got any question what structure you should go with, or if you've got any questions about any of those steps, for example, website, business name, whatever, drop it in the comments and I'll personally answer the question for you or give you some guidance of what to do, because I'm here to help. Also, thank you for listening in. Please subscribe to the channel, because we're building this content out. If you keep watching every day, I guarantee you over 6 months, you'll get as much info as I did in 3 years I did doing entrepreneurship and 11 years in business. You'll be getting all these lessons constantly. So there's little snippets to make you a smarter business person or win in life. So thanks for listening in, and I'm Jamie X, and connect on social media as well.